host of the Gridiron.
Fourth and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
But so Jalen Milroe. Now, this is an interesting guy right here. Dan Orlovsky was talking about quite possibly, Jalen Milroe coming to the Giants may not be bad for the Giants at all. The question would be, the big question, can the Giants? Talk about Jackson Dart. You got Jalen Milroe. You got other guys too. But one of the questions here, right, with Jalen Milroe, right, is can the Giants stay pat at number 34, and will he fall to them at number 34? Will somebody take a chance on him, move up in front of the Giants, and maybe snatch him someplace in the 20? You don't know. But he visited the Giants. Dan Orlovsky seems to think that he may not be, the Giants not taking the their number 1 pick, number 3 pick overall on Jalen Milroe. No. But they're going to take a flyer on somebody, maybe might be their quarterback of the future, right? Maybe taking Jalen Milroe, maybe in the second round. May not be a bad idea, but he did come visit the Giants. I mean, he's immensely talented, right? He needs to be polished, though, as a passer. All right, what do we have here? All right, here we go. So we got Broadway Jalen Milroe, buzz building for former Alabama football quarterback to land with New York. The 2025 NFL Draft 2 weeks away, former Alabama Crimson Tide quarterback Jalen Milroe is soon to find a new home. Milroe has had quite a busy month already. He's had private workouts with both the Saints, the Browns, 2 teams in need of an injection of fresh blood at the quarterback in 2025. Milroe, who started 2 years at Alabama under Nick Saban and Kalen DeBoer, also has plans to visit 3 other NFL teams: the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Giants. Now, let's not forget, right? The Rams and the Seahawks might grab him in the first round. So he may not make it to the Giants. That's according to, let's say, Jordan Schultz. The Giants are one of the franchises most in need of a quarterback at this year's draft. Milroe's name has been attached to the Giants in 2 recent mock drafts, most notably from Mel Kiper and another one from Chris Trapasso. Kiper has Milroe going to the Giants in the second round, number 34 overall. In an appearance with Kiper on Tuesday's edition of NFL Live, ESPN's Dan Orlovsky also argued on Milroe's behalf and called the Giants the perfect fit for both the player and the team. He said, I quote, "If I could handpick one team for Jalen Milroe, it would be the New York Giants in the second round. This would be the ideal situation for the number 1 Brian Daboll's Alabama ties. I remember hearing Nick Saban talk about Jalen Milroe and said, this guy changes the game. I remember Brian Daboll talking about how Nick Saban told him the number 1 guy he could not stop in college over the past couple of years was Jaden Daniels. And number 2, the impact Daboll has had with Josh Allen, but mainly the quarterback run, which gets me to the point, number 3, desperation. They're desperate. And if it comes to a point this season where Brian Daboll and Giants GM Joe Shane are like, hey, we need to do something to keep our jobs, I just sit there and go, if you got Jalen Milroe, you can go full Lamar Jackson rookie mode and where the ball, it comes 15 times a game. Meaning, I guess he just runs 15 times a game. Because this young man, while he's improving as a passer, is an absolute rocket ship with the ball in his hands, meaning as a runner, right? I think he's got more talent as a thrower than maybe some of the inconsistencies of the season last year showed. He's got to get much, much better in the red zone, but this would be the perfect place for both the player and the organization. Milroe threw for just 2,844 yards with 16 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. for Alabama last season as part of a disappointing 9-4 season that ended with a loss to Michigan in the Outback Bowl. As a sophomore, in the first full season as Alabama star in 2023, Milroe overcame a Week 3 benching at South Florida to lead the Tide to 10 straight victories with a trip to the college football playoff semifinals at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Milroe was 21-6 as Alabama starter between 2023 and 2024 and one game versus Texas A&M in 2022. Let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah. Jalen Milroe set to visit the Giants. Giants have reportedly met with several of the draft class quarterbacks. Giants continue to do the homework on the quarterback in this year's draft class as they set to host Jackson Dart on Thursday and will host an upcoming visit with Alabama signal caller Jalen Milroe in the coming days. The visit comes as no surprise as the Giants continue to do their homework on quarterback prospects. It's thought that they won't look to draft one when they go on the clock at number 3. But, however, it remains a possibility that they will trade back into the bottom of the bottom third of the first round to select a developmental prospect. Whether it might be Jackson Dart, maybe Jalen Milroe, depends upon if they're still there. This would ensure that. See, that's one of the things because I think the Steelers are like a number 20 or 21. Do they take one of those there, one of those quarterbacks? It's going to be interesting to see. This would ensure that they have the 5th-year option to use on the prospect who is expected to get a redshirt year this coming season, which would be huge. That way you can help build a team around them, right? To recap, the quarterback whom the Giants are reportedly to have met with or will meet with includes or have met with or will meet is Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, and Jalen Milroe. The team is reported hosting Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter on Thursday. So, but that's going to be one of those tricky things, very very tricky things. Yeah, because you don't know exactly where one of those guys are going to land. Like, if you're gonna, are you going to hold off, right, on like Milroe and Dart? And you got nope. We're going to stay here at 34. Maybe trade back into the first round. Hey, maybe trade with I don't know. The Eagles would trade with the Giants. Would trade back into maybe number 30 or number 31 or something like that. Jump in front of the Eagles. Take one of the quarterbacks, get the 5th-year option. Do they want to stay pat at 34? Do they want to jump in just barely into the bottom part of the first round to get the 5th-year option? Or do they want to take a huge leap and like jump in front of like the Steelers, like around pick number 20? They got the draft capital to do that. Right? They don't have to give up all their picks from this season, but I mean, they can couple up a 2nd round, a 3rd round pick from this season, and maybe a later round pick from next season or something like that to jump way back into maybe pick number 20 to take one of these quarterbacks. Right? So that's going to be very, very interesting.